here we are again, back in Mixdown Studio, and we're looking at another Modalics plugin today. What is it, Sean?
We are looking at Mindset drums. It's spelt Mind ST drums, but it's pronounced Mindset drums. Yeah, they got in touch and asked if we could have a look at this. We looked at their Beat Scholar quite a while ago now, maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
And that was really interesting, a completely unique way to program drums. This is more of a traditional like live drum sample player kind of thing. I got to admit, when I downloaded it, fired it up, started playing on my drum pads, and I was like, oh wow. It sounds pretty amazing. So the samples are great. They've sampled a DW kit. I think there's 50,000 samples in here
Of one drum kit.
I mean, I don't know. I presume it's one drum kit, but loads of different tunings and you know, all different ways of getting those sounds into the engine. But
Very drummy.
But the possibilities for making this sound like lots of different drum kits are endless, and that's some of the bit I really enjoyed digging into. You can change the velocity curve, what part of the drum the stick's hitting, what hand the drummer is using. You can also, like with busy hi-hats, you can say, do you want them to use one hand or two hands? It's pretty detailed, and you can hear the difference.
God, there are some times where you just want a drummer.
Is it? I mean, there are times where you just think, let's just get a drummer. They do that.
Yeah, they've got both hands. They're in perfect control of their own hands.
And these days, they will all send you stems of all the various bits. So,
but you did say you were particularly impressed by the audio quality of this.
Yeah, it sounds
sensitivity.
Great. There's the option as well that you can send everything to either groups or you can send it separate out. So in your DAW, it will show up everything on separate channels. So you've got your room mics, your overheads, your kick, snare, your toms, everything individually if you want for processing your way. Or you can do it within the mixer section. You know, there's a drive, there's a compressor, EQ, there's reverbs. It's pretty endless what this can do.
We did look actually just before we started at the Instagram, didn't we?
We did.
There's some really good demos of how the MIDI works, you know, and the difference that sort of velocity and what have you makes to the triggering the multi samples and what have you. So
yeah,
well worth a look.
My phone's going nuts.
Yeah.
You had a good question though when we were messing around with it earlier. Was that is there a way to spit the MIDI out? There's some programmed patterns in there which will sync up to your DAW, which are great. And I don't know is the question. I've been trying to look for that. I can't see it. That'd be handy, although I think it's probably more suited to...
I've got to say, having looked at the Instagram, it's not about bouncing presets out, is it?
No, I don't think I think that's an extra thing it does, but it's basically it's a really good sort of sample player, you know, which sounds very, very convincing as a drum kit.
Yeah.
What do you reckon to the interface?
Well, this was the thing, isn't it? You know, this is always, because I played drums for a while. I'm certainly not a drummer. But the part of playing drums is it's got to look mint.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And drummers, those are the sorts of things that matter to drummers. You know, how far apart your toms are, and that was my only criticism, is that the GUI is a little bit pants.
The colour, the look of it, what is it?
Well, just the way the drum kit's set up. It's not how a drum kit would be set up.
No, generally not.
But then you made a very good point that, you know, there needs to be different zones because you can click through your samples. Well,
it's an interactive interface. You need to be able to click on each drum and cymbal individually to be able to change its parameters. So I'm guessing they did it for that reason. Yeah, the hi-hat's like half a mile that way.
Is it the other way to the Logic drummer? Is the Logic drummer, is it? I can't think just off the top of my head. We could probably have a look.
I think it might be, I think it faces you in Logic.
The Logic, yeah.
The Logic drummer, you see the kit facing you. This is if you're sat behind it or stood 5 meters.
But as a drummer, you want to see double brace stands, and but there we go. Anyway, it's obviously very good at what it does.
Yeah. Yeah, no, nothing more to add really, other than it's like infinitely tunable. Every single drum or cymbal, everything, you can do what you like. Change the envelope, change the EQ, change the pitch. It's just, you can get a completely different sound out of,
So the previous the previous plugin we looked at, that was more loop based, wasn't it?
That was more about doing interesting patterns by using their weird sort of sliced up circles. You know, it looked like a pizza thing, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
And you could do some really clever stuff programming. And this is more about getting some incredible sounds that sound like a drum kit.
But I wonder whether you could, I don't know,
Combine the two.
yeah.
The programming of that with the sounds of it. Maybe you can.
Yeah, maybe you can. Maybe you can. I'm sure we'll be informed in the comments.
Normally are.
Yeah.
There's always someone that knows everything.
However, we are both pretty big fans of this.
Yeah,
Extremely easy to use. It does sound amazing. It sounds really, really good.
it does.
What about the demo?
Because it's a sample thing, there isn't a demo.
Right.
But there's lots of demos on the website and on YouTube and stuff where you can go and hear it. So there's no demo as such, but the price is normally $149.
How many samples do you get? I mean, what's the...
50,000 samples. And you can choose whether to download in 16-bit or 24-bit. I downloaded the 16-bit. It was about 4 gig or something, I think. But, you know, you can download the better quality one. 16-bit sounded great to me. Anyway, it's available in the sale at the moment for $99.
Wow.
Which I think is pretty damn good. There's other you know, similar products out there.
A lot, competition.
But generally they're quite a bit more pricey.
Yeah. Definitely worth going and have a look at the Modalics Instagram page anyway. There's some really good demos of it there. So Sean, is the Modalics what is it? Mindset drums. Is it shit?
No, I don't think so. I was pretty blown away with the sound of it, to be honest. I think it's one of those things, the more you play with it, the more you dig into it, the more you'll find. And if you want a live drum sound for something you're working on, I'd definitely have a look.
So there we go. Go and have a look at the Modalics drums. And I've forgotten again.
Mindset
drums. But before you do that, even though it's been a bit rickety, like the video.
A bit rickety, like us. Like the video. It'd be really nice if you subscribe to the channel. That really helps us. We also have an Instagram, which is Studio Life 101, and there's a Patreon, and we also have a merch stand and a bunch of other stuff, and all those links are down there.
And make some comments, because we'll get back to you.
We absolutely will.
But until next time.
See you later.
See ya.